love Korea and I love its movies and food and most importantly music, like Jennie from Blackpink, she's amazing. So I was thinking, it's kind of weird that I'm in Australia even though I have a Korean boyfriend. Isn't it weird and interesting? I could be living my dream in somewhere in Seoul right now, but here we are. So I think it's time for us to figure out why that is. Let's get to the bottom of this. Here's my appa. Better have some answers for this.
Masha,
Yeah?
are you talking about the K word again?
Why are you so scared?
The K word. It's not what you think it is.
What is it? It's an awesome country, no?
안녕, I'm Jake from Korea.
Привет, I'm Masha from Ukraine.
Obviously, there's a little joke in the beginning. I'm not afraid of Korea.
Really?
Really?
That's good to know.
That is good to know.
That would be really scary for our next trip.
I've been living in Australia for the past 6-7 years already, and so much has changed. Korea has definitely gained so much popularity. I can hear Korean music, Korean foods, Korean culture in the TV shows everywhere. And it's pretty refreshing, honestly. When I first came here, the most people would know about Korea would be BTS at best. On one hand, I'm pretty proud of Korea, how it became so popular and it's represented in all of the media. What's this?
I'm helping you visualize it on one hand.
Thank you so much. On one hand, I'm pretty proud of Korea, of how it's represented everywhere, and I'm honestly really glad that people love Korea so much. But on the other hand, I'm a little wary about this Korean trend that is going on. People who look up Korea, see Korea in TV, and they just want to live there. I've seen that there's so many foreign attractions that there's a lot of people who want to visit Korea right now without being informed though. As one person who definitely didn't like Korea or didn't fit in and chose to stay out of it, today we're going to discuss if Korea is a good country to live in or not.
I have a question for you. Why did you decide to come to Australia in the first place?
The answer to this directly relates to why I don't want to live in Korea, but it's mainly about the school system. In Korea, education and school system is a very, very big thing. And unfortunately, I was one of the victims, especially during my high school days. It was so stressful. I was in a dormitory and I had to study until 2 a.m. My school would finish at 5 p.m., but then you would have to go to self-study until 10 p.m. And you have this optional self-study that is until 2 a.m., which you have to do because everyone else does. And you wake up at 6 a.m., so you'd have 4 hours of sleep. What kind of life is that?
It's horrible.
Like, after going through that for my 3 years of high school, I was just so done with Korea and it just decided that I don't want to live in this country, even if I'm graduating. It's just not the country I want to live in. And it's not just me, honestly. In Korea, every child has to go to this hagwon. Do you know what hagwon means? It's a private school system where young children would go after they finish their normal school hours. They would go learn English, math, music, whatever. And usually, most of the cases, they go to multiple of them. So even 10, 8, 9-year-old would go to hagwons and they would come home 10 p.m. And I heard so many of these children just crying and begging their mom, I really don't want to study this much. And their parents' typical response would be, your friends are all doing it. Do you want to be left behind? Do you not want to succeed in life? You have to study right now. We are all just doing this for you. But obviously, all of the children is just so stressed. And whenever I go to Korea, I see my young cousins who are like barely 10 years old and they're already going to multiple hagwons and they're so sad. Like they don't have a life. So school system is one of the reasons I decided to come to Australia and probably the reason why I would never live in Korea. Because if I have a child, I just don't want them to suffer what I went through, and I doubt it'll change anytime soon.
What's the purpose of studying so hard?
Mostly they are all towards the same goal of university. There's Seoul University, Korea University, and Yonsei University. These top three universities in Korea. It's called Sky University. And parents or every single people in Korea are obsessed. Pretty much every single Korean TV shows with high school students would highlight or showcase this insane obsession with these universities. There's a Korean university entrance exam you take after your final year of high school. And yeah, all of these 학원's incredible studying hours is just to go through the exam and enter this university. Either you enter them or you're just a failure in life. Even though if you don't make it to those top 3 Sky universities, you really have no choice but to go to any other university still, which doesn't make sense, but in Korea, if you don't go to university, there's a special term for you, which is 고졸, and you're really, really treated bad by other people. It's a little crazy.
So you can't start your own business? Startup?
You can, but no one will invest in you, I would say. It's the problem. You would have to have this university title for anyone to have confidence in you. It is very dystopian. Another reason I decided to leave Korea is the work-life balance there. Do you remember the last year when we went to Korea?
Yeah.
We saw so many old ladies working until 2, 3 a.m. on the street.
Not just old ladies, everyone. I've noticed the extended hours that they do. The nightlife is so big there.
Which can be convenient for me, I guess. The shops open
For the
until
foreigners,
like 10
it's
p.m.
definitely appealing. You can think, oh, it's so fun, the hustle and bustle of
so
the
busy
nightlife.
nightlife, which means there are all people working until that late, and without getting paid much, honestly.
Barely. We were buying kimbap for 1,001.
That was
It's
$1 kimbap.
$1 from a cart of a poor old lady that would finish maybe 5 a.m. That's crazy.
Yeah, the working life balance, even for office worker. You'd be incredibly lucky to clock out on time in Korea. You get so much work to do that you have to stay until late and do overtime. And they
For
will...
free?
Yeah, of course. And they would drag workforce to home, and parents and their children bond doesn't exist for many family households because of that. There's just...
No time for that.
There is a word workaholic, but it's not really workaholic in Korea. They don't want to, they don't love working. They just have to in order to compete with others and keep having their job.
Yeah.
It's a little insane.
Let's see.
There are a lot more reasons, but for this video, I would conclude my last reason of not living in Korea as its social atmosphere.
What do you mean by that?
Korea is a surprisingly very, very conservative, old-fashioned, and very judgmental country. I'll give you one example. When I went to Korea a few years ago, I had colored my nail black just for fun. I think I was out clubbing with my friends, and they just did it for the funsies, and I forgot about it. It was almost fading. But as soon as I landed in Korea, my family, my cousins, and my friends were immediately picking on me. Why do you have a black nail? Are you gay? Like, what happened to you in Australia? And the question itself baffled me. Like, firstly, I didn't even remember to erase or because I don't care. Like, it's just a nail, and like I guess it's a memory for me. But people immediately started picking on it, and just treats me like I'm doing such a bad thing. And what if I'm gay? I'm not, but they treat being
Gay is something
offensive. Very, very offensive, and something that I should hide at least. It's just
doing nails is not even gay. Like,
I know.
guys rock it so much. Like, He's awesome.
And my hair, I would say I'm on the longish hair side.
Yeah.
And oh my god.
That's not acceptable.
Even when I'm talking to my parents, when I video call them, like the first thing they say is to cut my hair. It doesn't look manly enough, doesn't look mature enough. Like this social judgment. And do you remember our friend Angela?
I remember how she told me.
She's such a nice soul. But
She told me she had orange hair, very bright, like a pretty color, like mandarin.
honestly, it suits her really well.
Yeah, and I remember her telling me that it's
After
not
she went to
acceptable.
Korea,
Yeah, in Korea, her mom wouldn't really like approve of it. Like she still did it, but you know, it's just like she looks out for her. She's like, you shouldn't do it because people will judge you if you get that hair. But why should it matter? It's
Like,
just a hair.
Her mom isn't being like better. She's
Yeah,
genuinely worried that Angela will be
Yeah.
judged. It's just crazy. It's just the hair, just the nail, or just the sexuality preference. Even us living together is considered problematic in Korea.
Isn't?
Being unmarried and living together is actually one of the things very, very framed up on there. And even my parents are kind of hiding it. They are not.
Not telling anyone?
I would say they're one of the open-minded ones, but it's just because the society doesn't tolerate it. Like they just chose not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
And
It's to save face.
so it's just safe to say Koreans are very, very conscious of what others think. And it's not for me,
I see.
definitely.
They make sure to tell you what they think as well.
There's definitely more reasons to watch out for in Korea if you want to live there. But these are the ones that matter to me when I decided to leave Korea and to live in Australia. Which sucks to you. We won't be living in Korea, but
I think I'm okay with that.
after
I think
hearing all this.
Yeah, Australia is not that bad.
Honestly
To be
though,
honest.
it is a good country to visit. I think Korea is a wonderful country to just go for a short time and have fun. Nightlife is awesome. Everything's so cheap. At what cost? And obviously no disrespect to people in Korea who's just trying their hard to live their earnest life. But just these are the things I would definitely tell you to watch out if you're thinking of moving to Korea or to live in Korea for a long time. Because it's definitely not a country for everyone. It was certainly not a country for me. And there is actually a serious concern that the country might go extinct in the near future. The factors I've mentioned and more contribute to South Korea having one of the lowest fertility and birth rates in the world. And it has the highest suicide rate in the world, but that's for another video. Just to clarify, I'm not making this video to say Korea is the worst country to live in. No country in this world is perfect. None are completely good and none are completely bad. I'm making this video because too many people get dazzled by the shiny image the media sells. They see the glamour, get carried away, and start fantasizing without seriously looking into the reality. That is exactly how people end up being disappointed. If you're thinking about living in any country, not just Korea, do your research properly. Look at the good and the bad. Understand the trade-offs. Don't let aesthetics, trends, or media fantasy make the decision for you. Korea is certainly getting massive attention right now, and it is attracting people the way a gold rush once did in America. Except this time, people are chasing an image, a dream, and a fantasy. Always remember, think critically, look at both sides, then form your own opinion. If you have any more questions about Korea or us in general, feel free to let us know in comments and let us know what you think. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
And no respect to people who live there, but Korea is definitely not for everyone. At
No
least.
respect to people who live there.
No disrespect.
That's a funny one. I love it. It's like, whoa, we're going.
On one hand, I'm really popular.
That's true.